Let's get into the Wednesday wrangle with Liz Storer and Justin Smith. And Justin, I've got to start with you. You're sitting in Melbourne. It must be frustrating waiting for the lockdown measures to be eased in more than 24 hours from now. Why not just get rid of these restrictions and let it rip now?
I agree. I have nothing to add to that. I absolutely agree. The lockdowns and the way we come in and out of the lockdowns is slow, it's confusing, it's imperfect. I mean, and this list that has been put out just doesn't quite make sense, not fully. Sky News reporter Julia Bradley, rather excellent reporter, asked a terrific question today of James Molino, which is, why can you only have 10 people at a wedding, but you can have 50 people at a religious ceremony? And apparently the answer is this, that it is easier to cancel a wedding. So not based on anything medical.
It is just a shambles,
great question.
Great question. But obviously there was
ridiculous.
No need for a lockdown.
Yeah.
There's certainly no need for one now, but they're easing it back and they're taking more than 24 hours to do that, and they're blaming that on paperwork. I mean, Liz, you're lucky you're in Sydney, so you just look on this and wonder how Melburnians are putting up with it.
The land of the free. Yes, I do wonder how they're putting up with it, especially a year on, and yet still no chance of a remotely proportional response from this government. It's just absolutely unbelievable. And another question I'd like to ask Joe Molino is, buddy, how come we can have 50 people in a restaurant, but me and my family, if I were unfortunate enough to be Victorians, can't go visit my fully vaccinated mum?
Easy.
What is going on? No, it is not easy. None of this makes sense. And they keep hiding behind the skirts of COVID. We keep asking, where's the actual advice on this? Where's the health advice on this? You keep saying the experts. Who are they? Where is the scientific proof for any of these ridiculous restrictions that you're putting in place?
Well, there's another one that's there's another one that's been pointed out, Justin. I wonder if you can confirm this one. I think tonight in Melbourne, or certainly by tomorrow night in Melbourne, if you wanted to go to a brothel, that's okay, but not to a gym.
Yes, you can go to a brothel, but here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. You've got to wear your mask while you're in there. So you can take off everything. You can take off everything else, but you must wear your mask in there. I'm not joking. This is true.
Wear your gimp mask while you're in the brothel, you reckon? Honestly, what sort of a country are you running down there? What sort of a state are you running? Now, here's something to watch out. This worries me, right? Because there's this Victorian couple who now have driven up through New South Wales, and they've turned up in the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. One of them has tested positive. Now, you watch people overreact to this. I've just seen the list of places they went to in Western New South Wales. Unfortunately, places I was planning to go to on the weekend. But, I mean, let's not be vigilantes about this. Let's not have the media sort of trying to track these people down and shame them and posses out after them. They didn't know they were sick, right?
No, ease up on them. I mean, look, we've got that old one of we are all in it together. To hell with the governments and the bureaucrat, put those to one side. For everybody else, we do need to remember that we've got to practice a little bit of kindness now and then and kind of look after each other. And I know Liz is having a bit of fun, Victoria versus New South Wales, and I do the same thing as well. But we can't go slinging off at each other too much, and it can't be serious. We really do need to try and look after each other until we get on the other side.
No, I agree. I feel sorry for Victorians, and I know some people don't want the sympathy because they feel that they're doing the right thing. But either way, it's tough what Victorians are going through. Why don't I just change the pace? Because there's a little story that has tickled my fancy, and I just thought you might have a view on it, Liz. It comes from the UK, but there's a bloke who lost his job because he was caught at the pub when he was on a sickie. Now he's had a win in court. Apparently that's an unfair dismissal. You can have a sickie, turn up at the pub for a couple of beers and a smoke, and you can't get sacked for that.
I love this charge, I tell you what. And I want to know who the dobber was, because what a loser. Firstly, you don't know the circumstances around a sick day. You know, you could have a leg in a cast, which wouldn't rule you out from going to a pub and having a few. Also, between you and me, nobody else, don't tell anyone, I've got a number of friends who use sick days as mental health days when things are getting a bit too much. And so, if anything, that's the first day you'd find them at the pub.
I'm hopeless, Justin. If I have a sick day, I won't even go out to the letterbox for fear of being spotted out and about.
We are, Chris, you and I, Liz, I'm not going to speak for you, but Chris, you and I are old-fashioned types. We do believe that when we call in for a sick day that we are accidentally actually crook. But I'm with you. Actually, I love it, but I do love this story.
Define crook.
Define crook.
And we live in a society. No, but we do live in a society. We understand the importance of mental health is right up there with physical health these days. The two are very well interrelated. No, a lot of people consider, hey, either way, I'm looking after my health. It's not something I do personally.
I need a day off. I'm going down to. I'm not feeling too well. I'm going down to the Nelson for a schnitty and a pint. Fair enough. That's what it's come to. Thanks for joining us.
Great treatment plan.
Thanks for joining us. See you guys next week.